Welcome to the Clockwork Percussion Podcast. Today's guest is Andy Anderson.
How's it going?
Good. Thanks for coming, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course. Great. So we're here to talk about drums, and first question is, what got you started on drums?
That's an easy one. That would be my father. He played or started playing shortly before he went to Vietnam.
Okay.
And then over there is when he started harnessing his double bass by being bored as shit and just going like this. And
Wow.
I don't know if Portnoy was really the guy that did the quad like that.
Uh-huh.
But he goes, that's what I practice with. So right when he gets back from the war, he gets himself a drum kit and then just starts blasting like that. And so, yeah, I grew up around that. When I was like 5 or 6, I'm like, hey, could you show me how to do it? He goes, yeah. Boom, bop, boom, bop. Like, okay, this is fun. And then it was boom, bop, ba-doom, ba-doom, bop. And then I was off and away.
That was it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. So, yeah, he got you with like the little like swingy second part.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, just a little bit of, get one limb going different from the others so you can understand that, yeah, you can do left side and right side.
Right.
And then, yeah.
So how old were you?
6.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So,
And then actually like really practicing on my own around 9 or 10.
And you're how old now?
Going on 38.
Fuck, dude. So
Yeah.
over 30 years of experience.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Very cool. So he was doing like double strokes with each foot on two
No,
kick
he
drums?
never, if you're talking like heel toe,
Yeah.
no, he'd do just single roll.
What was the quad thing you were saying?
Oh, when you just do, like right, left hands and then right, left foot.
Okay.
So, bop, 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 bop.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then you
cool.
just run the rack over and over like that. For someone that doesn't know drums, they're going, God damn, he's doing a lot back there. Going, actually, I'm not breaking a sweat at all. Yeah, this is actually not too hard.
The first like pro drummer I ever really talked to was a friend's dad, and he called the double pedal the cheater pedal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. And then I started playing drums, and I was like, I fucking love this thing.
Yeah.
Cheating my ass. It's rad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you get the sound you want.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't like replicate it any other way. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was your first band?
What was it? We called ourselves, I think we called ourselves Simple Minded, so I would have been 13 or 14. And it was all, us skater, punkers, stoner, loser kids. And it was, one of us goes, wait, shit, you play drums? Yeah. I play guitar? Yeah. We need a bassist. Hey, do you want to learn bass? Not really. Well, fuck you, you're learning bass. We want a band. Found a lead singer and then just started jamming.
Okay.
Did a couple shows at bars where, they had to have a certain wristband so we can only load up, go outside for an hour and a half, come in to do our show, and then get the fuck right back out of the bar.
Yeah. Like Hoagie Barmichael's?
That was one of them, yeah.
Nice.
There was another place called The Shack in Pomona.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those were fun times.
Right on.
Yeah.
So what are you up to nowadays?
Just trying to get life in order, getting a career on track. Kind of had a major blow a little over a year ago. Lost my dad. Shit, gonna choke on that one, but
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it took me a little while to breathe again.
For sure.
And then it was slowly but surely like, okay, we can get back to normality, start playing drums a little bit more. But the only time I could really play that's not going to piss neighbors off is on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes if I've had one too many martinis, I'm not exactly the greatest, and then I bum myself out going, fuck, man, like 3 years ago you were killing it. You're rusty. So just easing my way back into it. But yeah, definitely playing a lot more.
Okay. So how do you, do you warm up with rudiments, or like what's easing back into it kind of methodology for you?
I try to see if I can still go as fast as I used to.
Okay.
Yeah, I get pissed off if I'm like, no, if I can't do the Buddy Rich fucking hyper roll like he does in West Side Story.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, all right, then you got to build up for that right now. All right, wrists are kind of loosey-goosey. Now let's go back into rudiments, but I just want to tell myself, yeah, you're still a speed demon.
Is that like using the rim, like a gravity blast type of thing?
No. No, it's in West Side Story. He has that big famous part where he goes and then slows way, way, way down, and then just single stroke picks it all the way back up until, I mean, when he does it, it sounds like a hum. You know, it doesn't sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It
Yeah.
just. So, yeah, I gotta like tell myself, yeah, you can still do that, kinda.
Wow. I mean, to have gotten to that point though, at all is, I mean, fuck, dude, that's fast.
Yeah, it took a while. That was a lot of me getting in trouble in high school because they're like, Andy, we can hear you in the back of the fucking room. Like, what? Like, yeah, you're tapping on wood. We could hear the desk. I'm like, oh shit, sorry.
That's classic drummer stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and fuck, man. I played guitar in like those days. I was just trying to be Billy Joe from Green Day.
Yeah,
You
same.
know, and like you were fucking playing drums. I'm always jealous when people are like, "Yeah, I've been playing drums since I was a little kid," because that's like 10 more years than I had. You know,
Yeah.
that's rad.
Yeah, but make no mistake, never trained. So my style is it's sloppy, to say the least.
Well, it sounds like you had a really good resource in your dad.
He was also kind of sloppy. He loved bottom style.
Okay,
So it just, I'm going to play how I feel right now.
it's the
You
only
know.
way to do it.
Like, hey, here's some sheet music. Cool. Set that on fire and
Yeah.
let's play.
Okay, so you didn't take like band or anything in high school? Did you like?
I did take band. They wanted me on snare drum. I'm going, no, I want quads. It's got to be
Okay.
quads. So me and actually the lead singer of that first band, Simple Minded, he did quads, and we sort of took over the music room. You know, they would give us a piece of music, and we're just going to overcomplicate the shit out of it. And my music teacher, Mrs. Gilbo, at first it was annoying, and then she's going, wait, this kid's got a little bit of talent. Let's harness it. Okay, do that ultra fast roll. If you could do this and run the rack on the quads, go for it. So yeah,
How many years did you do that?
I think I was in band 2-3 years.
Okay.
You know, back to back. Senior year, I got booted because, well, I was not doing all my homework. So I had to go to a continuation school and get my diploma. But yeah, so out of the 4 years of high school, well, the 3 that I was there, I was in band.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that's probably like the problem with school is they try to teach you everything, and it's like very clear that people aren't, you know, they gravitate towards, you know, a certain field or subject, and like you were into music heavily, and
Yeah.
then they tried to make you do fucking, you know, English papers all day, and you're just like, fuck that.
Yeah, well, and that was the other thing. I always had a problem with, like, history class, where it's, you know, why don't you teach us the major events that actually have impact on our world today? It's, no, I really like this part of history. Or like going, well, then that's for you. You go study that on your own time. You're our teacher. Tell us about major world events. And well, obviously, I'm 16 years old. I'm going to go tell a 40-year-old what's what. So, well, motherfucker, I know more than you.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. I did band like junior high, but I started on guitar, then they put me on trumpet, and then baritone.
Okay.
And yeah, this is way before drums even. And I don't
How'd you
remember
like
shit.
how'd you like trumpet?
Well, my dad had a cornet,
Okay.
so it was like, oh, I'll just use the trumpet at school and then practice on the cornet at home. And the whole embouchure thing, you know, playing with your mouth and like getting like lip dynamics, and it just didn't speak to me,
Yeah.
to put it lightly. And then then got into drums after that, like early high school.
Okay.
And that just like changed the game.
Yeah.
Found, I think, weed in high school at the same time, or yeah, weed and drums at the same time in high school, and that was it.
They seem to go hand in hand for, you know, young rambunctious boys.
Yeah,
How can I get my energy out and also calm down at the same time?
yeah,
Play the drums and smoke a joint.
exactly. Yeah, my neighbors were fucking cool. I grew up like down the street from you,
Okay.
in College Park on like
Yeah.
and Fairview area.
Yeah.
So my neighbors were just super cool. My dad's a musician as well, so there was tolerance in the household, but you know, it wasn't ideal. My mom was just like, you should play saxophone, you get paid the same,
Uh-huh.
and you bring less, and you don't have to like set up and tear down.
Yeah.
If you're a drummer, it's gonna be like the worst. And I was like, nah, I'm a drummer.
Yeah. I don't mind the setup and tear down.
Yeah,
It's part of the fun too.
exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure my back feels the same way anymore in my mid-30s, but
Yeah.
cool. So who's your favorite drummer?
Well, that's an obvious. That's Buddy Rich.
Okay.
That's just because it's, like you and I were talking the other night about Damian Schmidt and just his fills are
Yeah.
fucking insane. Jojo Mayer, the way he plays, where it's so smooth, but it doesn't feel like a solo. It feels like an elongated beat and or fill.
Yeah.
Where when Rich solos, it's no, everybody else shut the fuck up. He's soloing.
Yeah.
And he could go for 10 minutes where, and then I'm going to come right back on perfect time. And the band's like, oh, shit. Oh, we were just kind of watching you, dude.
Yeah.
So, it'd have to be him and Krupa.
Okay.
Krupa just because the godfather of the drum solo.
Yeah, well, those duels that they would do are iconic.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, the one that I can remember best is where you could sort of see that Rich is looking over at Krupa while he's playing, and you just, the look in Rich's eyes going, you're my idol, and I'm about to dominate you. So I'm just going to look in admiration. You're done. I told you, and meow,
Yeah.
And Krupa's loving it, going, no, I love getting shown up. Yeah, I'm a drummer. If I gave you something to work with and you ran with it like that, all for the better.
For sure.
Yeah,
I mean, and it was so cool how they were working with just like 4-piece kits back then, like simple setup, the whole jazz like bebop thing, the like Mitch Mitchell inverted snare drums.
It's tilted way away from you. Yeah.
Yeah, and playing like match grip and everything. I watched that and I'm like, this is a completely different era. I would just like crumble if I were around these people. Like I wouldn't want to play in front of them.
Oh, I think you'd have, I mean, they grew up in the vaudeville era. So, it's like that's kind of ingrained in the culture where it's got to be over talented to make it.
Right.
I mean, we grew up with, if you want to be in a punk band, you need do that, do the rat, do that, do the rat. And okay, well, it's cool. We got a punk song.
Yeah.
Back then it's, you need to excel.
Right.
You know.
So you brought up JoJo Mayer. Nerve is such a cool band. The Distance Between 0 and 1. Have you heard that record that he did with Nerve?
No, I don't think so.
It's on Spotify, and it's like you were saying, it's really cool, like jungle jazz, like electronic, like breakbeat stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a solo, but it's like a passage, but it's a part, and
Yeah.
it's like, and he's just fucking rocking, and it sounds like electronic drums, but he's doing it. It's real.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the him and KJ Soccer, two of the like jungle guys, where it's just, thank you for bringing that back to the actual kit, because a lot of people were just getting too complacent with like Fruity Loops and stuff like that, where it's like, no, guys can actually do this on the kit, and it's all the better for the audience because they're like, oh, that's real? I'm like, yeah, it's the drum and bass. Well, not computer and bass.
Yeah.
No, it's fucking drums and bass.
Right.
So.
Who are some of your other favorites?
Oh, God. Bonham is obviously a shoe-in. Shit, I actually brought a little short list here.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Steve Gadd and Dave Weckl.
Yeah.
Don't know if you ever watched that one where I forget the third guy's name, but it's a three-way drum-off. So Gadd and Weckl are two of them, and then, damn it, I'll remember on the drive home, too.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah, that's a pretty good one to check out. Yeah, I mean, there's Trey Cool is one just because, I don't know, like how he took on the guitar and bass for Green Day and just made him hit a lot harder, but it still sounded punky.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I mean, kind of drawing a blank on, I should have wrote a bigger list. But, yeah, in terms of, newer guys, damn it, yeah. You're going to have to pick this one up. I'm drawing a blank.
Dude, well, I mean, I'd love to dig into Steve Gadd because Steely Dan is one of my classic rock favorites.
Yeah.
And his work on that stuff is amazing on, like, Asia. And then I'm, like, Green Day is my all-time favorite band.
Yeah.
And just listening to their first record, they had their first drummer, and he kept time. He did his job.
Yeah.
But to your point, when Trey joined the band, like there was a it was like a zeitgeist for the band. Like all the guitar hits and like the guitar and the bass hits, like they're super rhythmic, and then Trey, like the kick, the snare, the rolls, the cymbals, like he's underneath all of that, and they became one unit. It's like total cohesion.
He's playing along with the band.
He's playing the song, yeah, exactly.
Like if you listen to a lot of like 80s metal and stuff, where you'll hear the drummer knows and the bassist know we got to be in sync with each other. So when he hits a good note on the bass, kick or snares happen at the same time.
Yeah.
The original Green Day drummer was just like, he's back there just playing a punk beat going, you got to sync up with the fucking strums of the rest of the band.
He was doing like quarter feel stuff.
Yeah.
And then Trey's doing all 8 feel stuff, like dynamic open and closing hi-hats, and like all the roll, like everything just fits, like the fucking, because he's all downstrokes. There's like thumb in there.
Yeah.
And the bass is like right in there, and it's just like, super tight.
Yeah, it got, same thing happened to Blink 182.
Totally.
Their one drummer is going like, it's either this or I'm going to go to college. I'm going to pick college. Like, you wonder if he's looking back going, fucking whoops.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no replacing Travis Barker either. That guy's like fucking insane.
Yeah, there was, I forgot. It was another podcast where they're just talking about, a lot of people are shit on Barker for being a more simple drummer. They're going, well, he plays some of these more simple beats to fit the song he's in right now.
Yeah.
You got to hear this guy solo on his own. They turn it up and they're like, oh shit, he's that dynamic. He's actually like, yeah. He's playing a simple beat for a simple song.
Right. Yeah, well, I think the story goes he was playing for the Aquabats, that ska band.
Yeah.
And they were opening for Blink on tour, and then they were having like problems with the old drummer in Blink, and Travis learned the set list in like a night, and then fucking they're like, okay, we're just gonna keep playing with you, dude.
Yeah, this is a pretty obvious fit.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're waffling on being in this band, don't worry, we got you covered. Go away.
Right. Yeah, and this, just this dude's like fucking dedicated. He had neck tattoos before it was,
Yeah, a thing to do.
Yeah, before Instagram.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't do this for likes.
Right. So, dude, we actually played in the same band.
Yep, Daisy Pushers.
You were the first drummer, right?
I think so. So I think, if you remember Gary Marizzi, I think he played a little bit with them, but just on that Roland V kit he had.
Okay.
And I think that was just to fill in the gaps so, the guys had at least a drum track to,
right.
Like, how's the song going to sound with actual drums?
Right.
Then I forgot how I think actually I was introduced through Matt Ward.
Yep.
And, we had a good night of, got to get to know you really fast. I'm like, well, here's how you do that when you're in your, 20s. Let's polish off a handle of whiskey.
Yeah.
And we start talking music. They're like, okay, let's do a practice tomorrow and just see what's what.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I got a shout out to Matt because he actually helped me design this drum pad.
Oh, okay.
Which is coming out very soon. No one can see it, but Clockwork Percussion drum pad coming out soon.
It's circular. It's monochromatic. Or no, it's not monochromatic. What am I mean? Multichromatic. Is that the term?
Multicolored.
Multicolored. There we go.
It's got different surfaces and shit. Everyone will see it soon. But shout out to Matt. Big help.
Hey, Matt.
And, dude, a lot of the songs that I think pretty much every song that I was playing with the band, like you had touched first, and I had to learn how to swing. I had like, I'm a just straight ahead like 4/4 or 6/8 like punk metal drummer, and then having to Brett, the fucking bassist, just always like, you gotta fucking swing, dude.
Yeah, the that just kind of a slinkier feel back there.
Yeah, and you killed it, dude. So like
I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
No, it sounded
I just sort
awesome.
of knew that like Brett makes me kind of go like that, so I'm just gonna kind of swing around the kit like this. Yeah, I don't think I ever. I mean, not blowing smoke here, but God's honest is, I'm glad that I waffled myself out of that band because it allowed them to get somebody who's like taking these songs a little more seriously. Because like how we were sort of talking about Blink and Green Day, how their first drummers they weren't bad, but it just didn't seem like they were fully interested to give the band that chutzpah that they needed. I think they got that from you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely.
that. I mean, it was all your groundwork was there. There was another drummer for a time too, a guy that played like saxophone as well.
Yeah,
solely
yeah,
or
yeah. I
something.
remember some of that, and a couple of those songs. It's like, hey guys, in certain spots of the song, less is a little more. You have too many things going on stage. You're not
Yeah.
Slipknot.
Yeah.
And by the way, Slipknot, not all the members actually do really anything for the song. It just looks kick ass on stage.
100%, dude. Someone had to say it.
Yeah. I love Slipknot. When the first time I heard them and Joey Jordison, rest in peace,
Fuck yeah, dude. Rest in peace.
went over to a buddy's house and he just goes, dude, Andy, you especially, you got to see this video. It's called Welcome to Our Neighborhood. I'm like, okay. Sick comes on, and then that first double kick roll at that speed, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
eargasm. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Like, I know Fear Factory where he would just do the quick little triplets, but a sustained
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, and with style too, like, cause it wasn't just like a beat with the snare. It was like the hi-hat, like counting it off, you know, and
Yeah.
then he does the fucking real, and then it's like,
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and even the fills and Eyeless, that dun dun da 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 da. If you watch him play it live, it's not it's more complicated than you realize.
Yeah.
And it's, dude, Joe, you didn't have to really zhuzh it up that much. Nobody knew what the fuck you were hitting. They just knew you were hitting it fast.
Yeah. And talk about a guy that could swing, like,
Yeah.
weirdly in metal, he like made that fucking work.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is a
and then,
trip.
you know, I mean, Weinberg, he's sort of holding its own, but it's like you don't feel as the spontaneity that Joey had. You
Totally.
don't. I could tell you were trained.
Yeah.
I know you read sheet music, which is great for you, but with a band like this, you need to raw, just like fucking go.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like a grid, whereas like Joey was like an artist, you know, it was like
Yeah,
kind
he's
of a
out there-
mess, but it was controlled.
Yeah, he's painting freeform. Weinberg is like, no, I've got to snap to this line.
Right, right.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like fucking yeah, it's like the snap to grid. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. Paint by numbers, dude. But he's amazing. I mean, I wish I would have seen Slipknot with Joey, but I saw him with Weinberg, and I mean, to play like that type of music for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, you know.
Oh, it's got to be, I mean, exhausting.
Yeah. Every night. Just
If
like,
you're not,
you know.
yeah, if you don't love this and love the same crowd going to the same amount of ballistic,
Yeah.
where it's like you would think for you going, yay, you're losing your shit. We know that we're Slipknot. No, for every show, they're like, fuck yeah, we're Slipknot.
Yeah.
And the crowd's like, fuck yeah, I'm at a Slipknot show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have to feed off that, and yeah, I actually went with Matt like a year
Okay.
ago. Yeah, we saw Slipknot in Irvine, this weird outdoor venue. But so, dude, what type of sticks do you use?
Vic Firth 7A.
Really,
Just always been my stick.
7A.
Yeah.
And do you snap the shit out of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's I have my little, carry guy on my hi-hat stand when I was playing live. That thing needed to be stocked to shit because even when I was playing in a kind of a more traditional kind of rock and roll band, and then we would squeeze in some random reggae. Even then, I guess I hit my cymbals in a shitty angle. So they would just start fraying apart. And then you go take that back over to the snare and you hit it just hard enough and ping, half the fucking thing is gone. So it's, I'll go through at least 4 or 5 sticks. And that was
Wow.
in that band. When I was doing metal, I had to have 2 carriers, one on the floor tom, and like all my bandmates are like, dude, why don't you get a heavier stick? I'm like, I don't like them. My wrists are used to the weight of the 7A.
Yeah. Well, back to Buddy Rich, he was playing lighter sticks, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how you're getting a lot of that speed.
Yeah, I assume so. I mean, I've seen like the fucking dude from Lamb of God, and then oh damn it, it's one of these other guys that they're kind of in the Riccardo Merlini category where they play insanely fast, and they're still using like heavier sticks. One guy, he used as a butt of a stick,
Oh, wow.
and he's doing like 200 BPM,
Yeah.
going like your forearms would be fucking tree trunks.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Vic Firth is totally my brand. I think they make the most consistent stick.
yeah.
What kit do you play?
Right now I'm playing on a tie.
Oh, No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, and that was before they moved manufacturing out of Chino Hills.
Dude, I
So
used to have a tie kit.
Yeah,
That
I
was
got
my
one of the
first kit.
first ones, and then I heard
Okay.
that they moved off to like Indonesia or somewhere like that. I'm like, so I got one of the American-made ones. I'm like, sweet.
Sick.
Yeah.
So walk us through the like the setup.
Well, getting the kit was working at a job that was boring, online shopping, and thank God for Ty just coming online because they were marketing like crazy.
Yeah.
So I got two, I want to say 22-inch bass drums,
Oh shit.
4 rack toms,
Okay.
2 floor toms, 1 mini China, 1 big China, 2 medium crashes, big ass ride. I used to put a splash in there just because it was fun to right in the middle of a roll and then back to the roll.
Yeah.
Then I just went, that's a waste of time. Hit drums. But yeah, ever since place I'm living at now, had to basically break that in half. So now it's 1 bass drum, the double pedal, 3 rack toms, 1 floor tom.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's not as fun because I can't spread my wings and play out here and here, but it gets the job done.
What model is it? Do you know?
Oh God, no. Yeah, no idea.
They're pretty cool drums. That guy Ray Ayotte he's like a Canadian drum maker, and they got him at Thai for like a little bit, and he like redesigned like a bunch of their shit. I think when that same period, because I got my kit in 04 or 05. Just like it was like a Rock Pro. It was like the entry level kit, but it was.
I remember Rock
green.
Pro or something like. Yeah. That does sound familiar.
So that's sick, dude. Because I haven't met anyone else that's ever had a Thai kit.
Thai?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Blue Oyster wrap just because at the time that was like, I think it was like one of the wraps that like Ringo had.
Okay.
And at the time I wasn't like fully metalhead yet, so I'm like, well, this is not sacrilege,
Yeah.
So got that, but yeah, I did make sure to get the big ass double bass one, and that was just because of Bonham.
For sure.
I hadn't learned speed rolls yet, but even with Bonham just doing the bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
When you're mic'd up, it sounds.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, every drummer knows this. Where it's just a blast too. We're in between songs right now. I control this crowd. Like, what do you mean? Going, oh, watch, I'll get all the fucking attention of the room. Doom, 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 doom. And then one solo. I'm like, yeah.
Nice. So you pulled a couple live solos?
Yeah. To the chagrin of the metal band the most, but oh God, this is a funny story. We were doing a show up in Los Angeles, and this is when the lead singer and lead guitarist really wanted to debut one of their really heartfelt, slower, melodic songs. Right when we get there, and I notice the crowd has already been drinking, I'm like, guys, wrong venue for this. I'm telling you right now, they will not dig it. And they're like, no, yeah, they will. We are the entertainment. I'm going, right, but as an entertainer's job, you actually have to entertain the crowd and what they want. They don't want this fucking song. Okay, we'll play it. We play it. The entire bar just goes back over and orders another drink. So right after that song, I started in with the double bass fucking solo. Guitarist is looking at me like, shut the fuck up. And I'm just like, I need to get the crowd back. So I kept going on like that. A whole bunch of fucking drunk guys come up to the front of the stage and they're just like, fuck, what? Yeah. I end my solo and I just sort of do that shitty look at my guitarist like, I told you not to play that song.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you for giving me a reason to solo right now, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure they learned the lesson.
No, they did not.
Oh, really?
No, they were so precious about the song where they're just going, no, we know it's good. And going, it's kind of like a joke. You don't get to decide what's funny to other people.
Yeah.
So same thing with music. You can't just tell the crowd, you don't understand, this is good. I'm like, okay, cool. Play your good music. We're going across the street to a different show.
Right.
What's
your dream kit?
Oh, God. Ludwig.
Ludwig?
Yeah.
What dimensions? What
Still want the kind of the same setup as the Thai.
Okay.
But it's either that or Remo. Because I was told that through some long-winded way, I'm like, 84th cousin removed from Fat Remo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My dad's old kit he actually ended up with all of his toms. They had the actual Remo badge, and then a bass drum with the Ludwig. Or I forget how it all went, but it's just one of those. I grew up on Ludwig and Remo.
Yeah,
Want to get back to that,
for sure.
and then Zildjian A custom all the way.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was my next question was the cymbals. So the A customs it's a pretty cool like bright sound.
Yeah,
Those are great cymbals.
yeah,
My snare's the Bonham Supraphonic.
oh, okay,
Yeah, and that thing's like been unbeatable. Ludwig would be like my next brand kit for sure. And
Yeah.
everyone that says they own one, they're just like, yeah, this is it.
yeah. This is the end all be all.
Yeah.
Yeah, for good reason too.
I mean, they did it right, and and then all the classic guys, fucking Bonham, Ringo,
Yeah.
can't go wrong. A million other guys, I'm sure. Okay, so Zildjian A Customs. Have you experimented with many other cymbals, or?
Just pasty, and that was during the metal band time. They just don't hold up. When you're thrashing away on it,
Yeah.
it just they chip away after like 2 shows, or
Right.
2 practices. They're starting to already chip away. I'm like, I'll take the Zildjian. This thing will last me 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's me hammering on it.
On like your crashes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, abusing the shit out of them. So,
Well, the Pistes, they fucking they don't hand hammer anything.
okay.
They're all machine hammered, I guess. So it's like a unique method that makes them stand apart from the rest of the industry. But I experienced that with my crashes from them that I had in high school. They all just kind of like fucking melted quicker than any of them,
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't designed for that kind of abuse.
Right.
Not that, I mean, they still sound great.
They sounded good,
Yeah.
until they broke.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's, well, I just have a whole bunch of trash cymbals,
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that works if you're going back into punk now.
right. Well, it's funny because these two that I have set up in the room, they're cracked. The crash cymbals, and I have my nice ones for like shows and recordings.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to like fuck those up, So I
Yeah,
have
these are the sacrificial lambs.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So what does drumming mean to you?
I mean, on a personal level, it's just kind of a stress reliever. It's been in my blood, like I said. I mean, he started letting me plop around on his kit when I was 6. So there's just that it's like kind of in my blood thing.
Yeah,
But in terms of music, like we're once again back to Green Day and Blink, a good drummer will make or break a band. Your guys out front, their talent could easily be kind of, I want to say almost thwarted by a guy back there who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
yeah,
I mean, there's probably thousands and thousands of bands that got held back because, yeah, but we just love this drummer because, we knew him since high school going, cool, bring him on tour.
yeah. Right.
You guys are still just, I don't know. I mean, there's also just the kind of like tribalistic thing about drums where, you go back to caveman days. They didn't have ukuleles or saxophone or trumpets. No, drums. You
Yes.
played drums one way or another.
Yeah,
So it's like, shit, might be the oldest instrument.
for sure. I mean, it's definitely the basis of all music is rhythm.
Yeah.
So, I think that in itself, that's cool. You brought up another drummer earlier, Damien.
Damien Schmidt.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. The French. Wow. Yeah, he is. I found him. Actually, I think my father found him just doing a YouTube rampage, just kind of bored on the weekend. Found this guy, and I would think I was doing a show at the Whiskey. He just goes, "Hey, when you get home, if I'm already asleep, I've got this pause for you. You need to check this guy out." I'm like, okay. Get back from the show. I'm wasted. I just want to go to bed. I hit play it, and it's like, oh, wait, no, fuck, that'll crack another beer. What the hell's going on? The guy's, I've never heard anybody do that to a drum set before.
Okay. Yeah, he's dope. I think last time I saw you, I pulled up a video that he was just playing with like this like Russian keyboard player, Valery Stepanov, I want to say his name is, and then some some bassist who's playing like a 5-string custom bass with no pick, and then Damian Schmidt on drums. And that's really all I've ever heard of him. But I've watched that video so many fucking times because he has that drum solo in the middle of it, and I'm just like, what is going on? This dude's incredible. He's like articulating all the stuff like I've always wanted to play, you know?
Yeah.
And
I mean, and then just like the linear beats where it's the way I understood linears is you're never hitting one drum. It's only one drum at a time.
Yeah, no combo. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, this is doing this. He's tapping away on the hi-hat just to get the then he's doing shit with his left hand. I mean, and it's like he'll throw you off the 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm like, I can't follow how are you following the fucking beat in your head? And then he comes back, perfect timing. I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah, this guy knows his shit.
Yeah, he's definitely a boss.
Yeah.
And then you brought up another guy. I think you even said him a moment ago, like an Italian name.
Oh, yeah, Riccardo Merlini. I got this, I found this guy through, 66 Samus on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's reviewing this guy, and just Samus is a metalhead's metalhead. So I love watching his shit where it's, he's a kid about playing heavy-ass metal. He's reviewing this guy, and the guy does a single-stroke roll, and I want to say, oh, God, the BPM, I mean, it's like world record fast. And it's not like it's off time and it's just a fluke. It's single strokes opposite of each other. And, well, let's say this. I appreciated Buddy Rich's roll because it sounded like a hum.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds like a hum when he's just tapping the vinyls on fucking wood. It's going so fast. And then you watch Samus's reaction where I'm just like, yeah, you and I are kind of reacting to the same thing, just going, I quit drumming. Like, there's the final boss. Fuck this. And the guy's got wicked jazz chops. He could do metal. He could do the same, the heel-toe technique.
Okay.
Where he can get his double bass going basically as fast as his hands.
Mm.
So it's just, definitely a guy worth checking out. And then just kind of going, so why do I still play?
Right. What tips would you want to share with the audience? Like 1, 2, 3 tips?
Oh, and just starting at drums?
For any level. What's helped you?
Be consistent. Because, I mean, like I said, it's, the family tragedy definitely knocked me off my game. And been getting more and more back to it. But, it took me 3 months before I even wanted to look at the fucking drum kit.
Yeah.
Because every time I'm just like, oh, shit, here we go. And then finally sat down. I'm like, okay, I could do this. Try to play some of my old licks, and I'm noticing that I have to kind of force it. I'm not, like hunched over a little bit. My forearms are tensed up going. Usually I lean back, and it's, a little bit more effortless.
Relaxed, yeah.
Yeah. So keep practicing. And that's the other thing. Drummers, we have something unique versus guitarists or bassists. We can kind of practice absolutely anywhere. Like, really anywhere. If you're sitting at the airport, you're waiting for whatever. If you're sitting down, you can play drums.
Yes.
Yeah,
the steering wheel is a favorite.
Yeah, that vinyl takes a little bit of a beating going, I got to get that shit replaced.
Yeah, the fucking blinker, if I'm sitting at a left turn left, okay, the click's going.
Yeah, playing as if that's the metronome.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Oh, I do that with fucking everything. Working at the cabinet shop, and there's certain things in there that make like little, metronomic kind of beats.
Yeah. So
I'll stop sanding or whatever, and I'll just like, and then I can hear from the other side of the shop, get the fuck back to work. Right. Sorry, got lost in the sauce.
Yeah. Well, dude, I think it's awesome just because my dad's a musician as well. And I think, it's a gift.
Yeah.
And, he would want you to continue playing and to, explore that as much as possible. So that's awesome that you're back to it. And it's totally understandable to, give it a break and let it breathe. But I'm so
for sure
happy to hear that you're like back on it because you're awesome.
Oh, thank you. No, it's, it would be one of those, I could just sort of hear him over my shoulder going, okay, yeah, it's not like I'm coming back. I'm sorry, but so go play the fucking drums again now, please.
Right.
Yeah, I need to listen to shit.
Yeah.
I'm up here with all the greats. We're looking at you, kid.
Yes.
Go play.
That's it.
You know.
You have any plans to join a band or? What's
I'm
next?
still very open to it because now the dust is fully settled. Not really actively pursuing it just because there's a career I'm trying to get online. There's still a little bit of goofiness at the house. I told you about that earlier. Won't get into it.
Yeah,
But it does distract the shit out of me.
for sure.
Where it's, but yeah, still very open to it. I wish there's a local bar I go to out in Elsinore. That there's a couple guys there that I was starting to like, oh, dude, I'm a weekend barfly here. And you guys keep talking a big game about, we got this band and, we'll play. I'm like, hey, whatever instrument, I just want to be in a room and jam. Well, they were talking a really big game, and then finally one of them brings their cell phone in. Like, these guys are my age, so I figured, well, you're not going to lie about how good the band is. Like, oh, dude, we fucking shred.
Uh-huh.
So, well, they made a big mistake. They showed me the video. If you guys got me in a room, I would have had to been trapped for that 1 hour. But you showed me this video, and I'm like, I'm not going to say this out loud, but you guys fucking suck.
Oh, no.
Like, this is, like, not even, maybe I can swoop in and help because I've been around this longer or something. It's,
There's no hope.
you guys are having fun. I guess that's all that matters.
Like Smoke on the Water covers? Like, what are we talking about here?
Oh, no, it's all metal originals,
Okay.
and they're terrible.
Like
the
Five Finger
bassist
Death
and
Punch
guitars.
terrible? Like, what's going on here?
Hey, I like some of their music. Like the bassist and guitarist are sometimes not in tune with each other. Like the guitars themselves are tuned, it sounds like, but you could hear certain notes where I'm like, was that on purpose? No, it couldn't be. Nobody would hear that and go, yeah, that sounds good, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the drummer, where his metronome wasn't bad, but then he'll try to do a roll, and even at the bar, he just tried to like, hey man, I'm gonna just put a metronome on my phone right now and just like tap on here and just go 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and even there he's like off just
Yeah.
enough where I'm like, so that was kind of like the one prospect where I'm like, well, maybe don't look for a band at the bar.
Yeah.
Like they say, you're not going to meet your future wife at a bar.
Yeah.
You're not going to meet your band at a bar either.
Dude, that was like the hardest thing. I quit drinking a couple years ago now, and
Congratulations.
thank you. I'd go out and fucking run into musician friends, and we'd want to like jam, and I'd be like, God damn it, like I'm fucking drunk, like I suck.
Yeah.
Like I can't drive a car. What makes you think I can play drums and use my fucking feet right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And ever since that stopped, it's been like I can play drums anytime, which is pretty rad.
Yeah.
Because I could not play drunk. Like a couple beers, yeah, but like after like a full night, 5, 6 drinks in or more, it was a disaster.
Yeah. And
So, I
any
feel
good
that.
drinker knows that they're going like, oh, just have the 1 or 2 going, no, alcoholics don't work that way.
Right.
You're just trying to trick yourself into, well, just the 1 or 2. And
Yeah.
you're right. If you did stop at 1 or 2, you'd be fucking great.
Right.
You had no intention on stopping on 2.
No, dude. Yeah, it's like another person takes over after 2.
Yeah.
And it's
that,
like,
that person is always right back there just going, oh, just had the first sip.
Yeah.
You do that and I got you.
yeah. And then, all the other things that come with the party lifestyle, just, finding drugs and all that shit just made it so much harder to stay focused. So that's funny that you say that you're not going to find your future band at a bar, because I was one of those guys looking for a band after a bottle.
Yeah. Like, dude, I could just picture it, man. We're going to fucking sell out stadiums. Hold on, I'm going to barf.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, everybody has their best ideas when they're lit.
Yes. Yeah,
And
exactly.
Now, just get yourself a little personal voice recorder. Record yourself.
Yeah.
Listen to that shit in the morning with the hangover. It's important you have the hangover too. Because
Yeah.
then you're just going, I was in public too.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Fuck. Dude, that's so funny. I saw a Family Guy episode where that's like the premise of the episode last night,
Yeah.
of all times. They're like, what did we do last night? Oh, we came up with $1 million business idea. And they're like, oh shit, what was it? And then they get this idea because Joe is a cop.
Yeah.
To wear like bulletproof vests with like cameras on them when they go out drinking. So like And then they go out and get wasted, and they're like, all right, play it back. And then it's like some shit. Quagmire like films himself having sex. And then, yeah. And then he's like, oh, fuck. Like, what if my dad sees this? And, yeah. And then it just goes into crazy Family Guy shit from there. But, yeah, it's never as good of an idea the next day. You're just like, oh, wow, it was a waste of time.
Yeah. And also, like you said, especially if you're around musicians, if it's not one of the band members, it's somebody that's hanging around the band going, hey, why don't we up our game with this party? You party.
Right, right.
And when you were younger, going like, well, I saw that, kind of the older guys doing this, so I guess I will. And going, oh, yeah, nothing mixes fucking better than hard drugs, and you're already too drunk to enjoy being drunk.
Right.
This is not going to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll make you awake enough to keep fucking up.
Right.
So that's where it's like, yeah, I do really have a respect for people that just go, you know what? I do actually have willpower, and the pros are no longer outweighing the cons with this whole drinking thing.
Yeah, it was just a lot more fun back in the day, and then I started realizing like I was having more fun like on the way to the bar, like in the anticipation of the party.
Yeah.
And then like I equalize with whatever substance of choice it was. I smoked a lot of pot too. And then the next day would come, or like Monday would come, and it was just like, fuck, like I didn't do anything all weekend,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, what was the big thing you did? Oh, I actually sat down and cleaned up my garage. What was the big thing you did? Oh, me and the guys wrote a new song. What'd you do? I don't totally remember.
I spent $300 talking to people I'll never see again.
Yeah. So not a lot to show for that, I guess. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my head hurts.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's not all bad. I'd be like a different person if I had never done any of that. So I can't knock it entirely. And I'm not trying to make this like a fucking come to Jesus thing. I don't even go to AA, but it was just a personal
everybody.
decision.
We're not saying you have a problem. It's that we know when we If you recognize you had a problem, you address it. That's for each person.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people can get through this life, be successful as all hell, and then on the weekends going, how do you maintain? Because I just keep it to the weekend.
Right.
And then there.
Yeah, it's enviable, honestly, like to still be able to go out and have fun, or like have a bottle of wine with a nice meal and shit. And like for me, I'm like, if I do that, it's gonna be a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, it won't be just the one bottle.
Right.
Right.
Any other drum related topics you want to talk about? Any other drummers?
No, not right now, but I was thinking about two. Just it popped in my head as I'm coming over here, and I don't know that there's enough drummer jokes out there, so
okay.
I'll just do two that I remembered on the drive over here. Number one, how do you know if the stage is level?
How?
Well, the drummer's drooling out of both sides of his mouth. And then two is, how do you know if your pizza delivery guy is a drummer?
How?
The knocking slowly starts speeding up.
This is a podcast first, dude. We've never had drummer jokes. So.
Oh, right on.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad to break that cherry.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, Andy, thanks for stopping by, man. This has been great.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anytime. You're welcome back anytime. Hope to have more episodes, and it'd be great if you could come back.
Yeah. And I mean, I could use a drum lesson. Like I said, I'm rusty. Might have some chops that I never thought about. So
cool.
Cool.
Well, there's a ton of drum instructors that will be listening. So reach out to Andy. Is there a good way to get in touch with you on like social media or?
I don't really have a social media preference. I mean, we were talking about making retarded ass mistakes when you're lit. Mine would always be finding obscure songs and then posting the video on Facebook. And one of the ones I got in real big trouble for, you know what? This audience is mature. It's still on YouTube too, called "The Walls Fall Out." It is the weirdest, fucked up music video ever. It's about anal prolapse.
Oh shit!
And they show an animated version of anal prolapse.
Oh my god!
I remembered it just because the first verse I thought was kind of catchy. Then it was like, oh, that scene pops up, whatever. I forget about it. A couple weeks later, get back from a party, and then I just had that song. I'm like, oh, I'm going to post on Facebook. Like, that's not the worst fucking idea in the world. The very next morning, I woke up to a whole bunch of get on fucking line and take that off right now.
Oh, shit.
Like, you're in trouble. And this, like, from family members and, I just, like, colleagues and shit. I'm like, okay, you know what? Nobody on Facebook needs to know what I think. If I know you, well, odds are we actually talk on the phone and email.
Yeah.
So, not a lot on Facebook. I mean, got an email address.
All right. Spell
So, Stevens Inc. and then the number 1 at gmail.com.
Perfect.
Yeah, my name's Andy, but this was for, I had to take a state test. They say that you can't use your own email. So I just went, well, then how about Stevens Inc.? Like, that's going to throw them off. Didn't realize IP addresses are a fucking thing. So, but yeah, so that's, I've had that email address now for almost 20 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, man. Well, I think that about wraps it up for today.
Right on.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.